Graham Onions took 7 for 62 as the ball continued to dominate the bat on the second day of the crucial LV County Championship match between 4th place Middlesex and 3rd place Durham at Lord's, a game which the home side now looks set to win. Onions was unstoppable first thing after Middlesex resumed their first innings on 126 for 5 to trail by only 17 runs. That appeal against Garethburg was rejected, but the finger was raised as Neil Dexter tickled a pull off Onions behind to go for a match-high score of 48. Ollie Rayner came in, helped Onions over the long leg boundary for a 6, but then gave the bowler his 4th wicket of the innings as Phil Mustard scooped up another leg side take to leave Middlesex 7 down and still 1 run behind. That was converted into a 6-run lead before Berg on 35 nicked the outstanding Onions behind as the bowler claimed his 4th fifer of the season. He ended with his best analysis of the summer after he also had Stephen Finn taken low down at 3rd slip by Michael Richardson before Tim Murtagh nicked off. In 50 minutes, Middlesex had slipped from their overnight 126 for 5 to 168 all out. Onions with 7 for 62 and a spell on the second morning of 5 for 20 from 5.2 overs. So Middlesex's lead stood at only 25, but for the second time in the match, Mark Stoneman couldn't survive the first over of the Durham innings, Murtagh trapping him in front before a run had been scored. Given the new ball this time, Finn had some success in his second over, Keaton Jennings edging to Sam Robson. Durham had at least got themselves ahead by 7 runs when they lost their 3rd wicket. Scott Borthwick was bowled by Murtagh, having raced to 26, made out of the 32 runs on the board. In an hour and a half's play, another 8 wickets have been added to the 15 which fell on the first day. The way this was going, it looked as if we might even have a 2-day finish. But Ben Stokes and Will Smith then got their heads down to produce the best partnership of the match to date. Few at the ground have been able to work out why so many wickets had fallen so quickly thus far, and this stand proved that this pitch at the home of cricket was not filled with demons. Perhaps there had just been some quality bowling from the likes of Onions, Finn and Murtagh. Once in, these two actually made batting look rather comfortable as they added 65 runs together in 23.5 overs to just about put their side into the ascendancy. Not for long though. After batting for 2 hours for his 30, a confident Smith mispulled Murtagh to Finn. And then, 5 balls later, Paul Collingwood was bowled by a ball which did keep low from Corey Collymore. Stokes then managed to do what no one else had been able to do and made it to a 50. It may have been the knot that was the difference between these two sides. Stokes had worked hard for his runs, taking 92 balls to get to his half-century, 8 of which had brought him valuable boundaries. He now needed to keep going. But instead, 6 balls later, he came down the pitch to Rayner and was easily stumped to depart with his side on 129 for 6 with a lead of 104. 2 balls later, and it was Middlesex in the box seat again as Richardson edged Rayner to Adam Voges. Rather like the first Ashes test this summer, this has been a match which has ebbed and flowed throughout, and you almost expected a partnership to now be developed, and that's just what Mustard and Callum Thorpe did. Just when Middlesex thought that the hard work had been done, they were set back as this pair added a vital 39 runs in 9 overs to take the lead to 145. It was getting tense, but then the game turned the home side's way again as the last 3 wickets fell quickly. Finn bowled Thorpe via the bottom edge for 23 before he flattened Onions' middle stump in the same over. And in the next one, Chris Rushworth lobbed a simple catch to short leg off Rayner as Durham were dismissed for 171, Finn and Murtagh with 3 wickets apiece. That left Middlesex a rather nervy 147 to get for a very important win, which would put them right back amongst the front runners for the title. With the weather on Monday looking grim across the country, this was now their chance. But they lost Robson early as he fell just 7 runs short of becoming the first player to score 1,000 championship runs this season. On 6, he edged Rushworth to a diving Richardson. Chasing scores like 147 can cause teams problems, especially in a low-scoring contest, so each boundary from Joe Denley would have been greeted well in the home dressing room. Denley was in a rush, racing to a runner ball 32 before he was surprised by a delivery from Onions, which he could only fend to Stokes to lead with his side on 41 for 2. It was all getting rather dramatic, with every single ball having something riding on it. Owen Morgan and Voges survived strong appeals, the first for a catch behind that Durham were convinced about. And then, as Thorp and those behind the stumps believed that an edge had been found, not according to the umpire. Voges kept his composure. An experienced player, he will have been in such situations before, and having someone at the crease with years behind him and with the skills he possesses was important for Middlesex, a team which started this season well before falling a little behind the front runners in the Championship. If they do win this, then the end of the season is going to be a thrilling one. Morgan has hardly had any first-class cricket in the last 12 months, but he too battled hard to prove his worth to a side which hardly ever sees him. He and his partner used up 15 overs at the end of the day, from which they added 62 runs to take their side extremely close to the all-important winning line. They will now be hoping that the rain keeps away from North London as they enter day 3 requiring only 44 more runs to win for the 5th time this season, a victory which would see them leapfrog their opponents into 3rd place in the table. They have Voges on 36 and Morgan on 24 out of their side's 103 for 2.